A YouTuber named Synthetic Man made a review for the recent video game TV show Fallout, and he didn't like it very much.
The much-anticipated Fallout TV adaptation has finally released. And who am I kidding? We all knew this would be bad.
Now, it's cool to have different opinions. I'm not necessarily making this video to go over every single thing he talked about with the show. It does have some flaws, but his video kind of takes a weird direction with some of his critiques. And that's what we'll be covering today. Now, personally, as far as video game show adaptations go, Fallout is definitely one of the better ones. As you can tell from my video title, the main focus of Synthetic Man's rant is about forced diversity. As someone who can't stand it when characters are obvious tokens or created to solely appeal to a crowd based on a superficial trait and nothing more, I agree that forced diversity can be a plague in media. There are two scenarios that I would consider to be forced diversity. First is when a product is recreated and the only difference is that a character is race swapped. A prime example of this would be the live-action Little Mermaid remake. It's the same story, same characters, except Ariel's black. To me, this just comes off as lazy. Instead of creating a new product, Disney tries to obtain brownie points by recycling a franchise with a fraction of the creativity from the original and offering nothing new besides a race swap. The second example would be creating a character and basing their entire personality and their existence on either their race, gender, or sexuality, and that's it. So those are my reasons for why I don't like forced diversity. Let's hear Synthetic Man's argument.
I find this even more funny because his kid is mixed race. So his black wife divorced him, and now he plays fucking birthday parties. How black-pilling is that? So in a way, you could almost say this is anti-propaganda, but I still think it's promoting race mixing. But if a modern Marxist rewrote history and added diversity everywhere, and we find out her soon-to-be husband is actually a white guy and not ugly. Shocking. But don't worry, they ruined that pretty shortly. It's not like in the original Fallout games, all the characters were white, but there's something uncanny about this whole thing. We'll put it at that. I'm not gonna make a huge deal over it. Now we get to meet our final main character, Maximus. And it's another pussy-ass black guy. All of the survivors managed to get captured anyway. We see that the Latina overseer is the real villain of the show. Yes, this middle-aged brown woman is supposed to be this mega badass evil raider we're supposed to be intimidated by. I'm just tired of propaganda being shoved in my face more than anything. And yeah, I mean, this show's woke as fuck. It's diverse as hell. It's an obvious female empowerment story. That's really the most annoying thing of all.
So, what is this guy's reasoning for why showing diversity in the new Fallout show is bad? I don't know. I have no fucking idea. Synthetic Man just sat in his chair, turned on Amazon Prime, launched the first episode, and said,
"They work as hard as they can, and a black person! Take her off screen! Take her off screen!"
This might be one of the most unhinged reviews I've ever seen on this site. Every time Syphilis Man sees the color brown, his inner southern pride engulfs his incest brain. Like, if he had a reason to complain about forced diversity in media, fine, but he's just freaking out every time a black or brown person comes on screen. The only argument I could see someone make for why a diverse cast doesn't work here is because it might be ruining their immersion. Fallout has a 50s aesthetic, and some people find it odd that there are interracial couples in this setting. Problem is, if you know the Fallout lore, this isn't the actual 1950s. It's merely a styling choice, but also reflects two prominent aspects of the 50s, corporate greed and a nuclear arms race. So to say that the show has to have race relations like the 50s isn't absolute, and I wouldn't go as far as saying it's immersion breaking. My main problem with this review is that just because there's a diverse cast, that automatically makes it woke propaganda. But Fallout actually does a diverse cast well because, again, the characters are much more than their race or sex. Like, imagine looking through the same lenses when watching Andor. This show has many female leads, a gay couple, and the main character is Mexican. Andor has a pretty diverse cast, but no one gives a shit because these are good fucking characters. They're competent, smart, have their own unique personalities. This wasn't another obvious ploy from Disney to earn brownie points. Actual thought was put into the female leads. I'm gonna be real, I don't know if this channel is just a troll or if this guy just really needs to take a shower. He kind of hints at this being bait in one of his comments, but that's mostly in reference to his pinned comment where he states, "If your reply to this post doesn't answer any of these 3 questions that I provide, you will be blocked on this channel. Feel free to cry about it in your groomer Discord." But even after saying this, he still replies to many comments with counter arguments. So yeah, he might be playing it up a little bit for his audience in some ways, but again, one of the main arguments in his video is about the forced diversity in the cast, without actually providing a reasoning towards why it's forced diversity. That part he seems legitimately pissed off about.